Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for Reddit cheating stories like these. Without further ado, let's get started. Found out my 38 male wife, 39 female, is cheating on me with someone from work. Lost and devastated. Long. Our marriage, like many marriages, isn't ideal. We met in 2010, were engaged in 2011, married in 2012, and had children in 2013 and 2016. My wife's employer departed in 2017 to pursue a C-level position in the Southeast. He invited my wife to relocate to be his assistant, and so forth. I didn't believe he was serious, but he asked us to visit the city in the third quarter of 2017 and made her an offer. We're both from our hometown in the Midwest, born and bred, and I worked at a family company. We never expected to leave. We went, enjoyed it, and decided to take the risk. I won't go into detail, but there was a lot of back and forth, including her declaring she didn't want to travel days before we were supposed to leave. We went and things were difficult. A month after we relocated, I had an offer, but she told me to turn it down since it wasn't enough money. I had second thoughts, but I declined and continued to search. Our home was ultimately sold in May of 2018, and we purchased a considerably more costly house than I had hoped to buy. I was anxious since I didn't have a job. Her employment was going well. She was working a lot, while I was job-looking 3 days a week and caring for our children 2 days a week. I damaged my back shortly after we relocated and needed surgery for a ruptured disc. Meanwhile, I was persuaded to try my hand at financial counseling. I didn't make any money, but I was promised future riches. I studied for the examinations, and then I reconnected with the firm from whom I received the offer shortly after we arrived here. They still needed me, so I accepted and began in January 2019. Returning to her new work, she encountered a man, VP level, who began the same day. I drank coffee with him to network, and he even invited me in to apply for 3 different roles in the summer of 2018. I wasn't a fan of his, but he and my wife became work buddies. He offered me an offer, then reneged on it, and she was furious. He's got a wife, 2 kids, a home, the full shebang. I had doubts about their relationship, but I never imagined she would cheat. Let's fast forward to this summer. We had a lot of problems, and she indicated she wanted a divorce. Okay, I said. We discussed it the following day and agreed to focus on our relationship. Since July, things have been getting better. Has escalated and I tried hard, sending her flowers, taking her on outings and so on. She's still working a lot and traveling a lot. She didn't seem to be really focused, although she was preparing for a large meeting. As predicted, she returns home from the conference weary. She didn't text much while she was there, but I knew she was pressed for time. Now, let's fast forward to this weekend. I was in New York for an event on Friday and Saturday. We wake up and head to the gym together. Her father-in-law is in town and watches the kids. When we got home, I promised my son, 6, that we would go watch the Addams Family at the movies. I take a shower and check at her phone to transfer photos of the kids from their few days together to my phone, and I see her secret folder has a slew of files. When I look at it, I see that it's screenshots of her messages with the man at work. They're talking about how beautiful she is, how they're going to make out in the hideaway, and so on. I begin to feel bad, but I go to the movies and supper with her, our children, and my father-in-law. I'm silent, and they're wondering what's going on. I claim I'm unwell, and I was shocked by what I saw. I'm at a loss on what to do. Do I confront her, consult with a lawyer first, and so on? I'm devastated for myself, but much more so for my children, who are now in this circumstance. Cheating was always a deal breaker. Sorry for the lengthy narrative and rant. My whole life has turned upside down in the past 12 hours. Thank you for allowing me to vent. Update. These have been the days of my life, and they are things I never expected to go through. Second, I apologize for the delay in posting an update. As I previously said, I've been in a really horrible mental position, and it's had a far-reaching impact on me. Finally, this is going to be a lengthy piece. I understand if you don't want to read it. However, I would welcome any and all views and comments, except those that are rude or cruel. I'm not sure where to begin, but I believe the best place to start is the day after I found out. On Sunday, October 20th, I discovered screenshots of messages between my wife and her coworker. On Monday, I had lunch with a lawyer and reviewed my alternatives and the legislation in my state. She indicated that I could wait and get additional dirt from a private investigator, but I already had all I needed. On that Monday evening, I addressed her. She didn't say anything, so I begged her to tell me everything. She claims she has always been drawn to him since they began dating on the same day, January 2018. She traveled to Vegas for a conference in the first week of October, 1 month ago. They'd all went to a nightclub on Saturday evening once everything was finished, and she stated they kissed for the first time. She said that she felt bad thereafter and returned home the following day as planned. She said she knew it was inappropriate, but they resumed messaging and kissing at work later in the week. The following week, they met in an empty conference room at work to kiss, either during work or between 5 and 5:15 p.m., time when she said a meeting ran late, etc. I discovered the truth on a Sunday and didn't face her until Monday night. So when I asked her what happened today, the day I confronted her, she stated they went to lunch and kissed in the vehicle. I won't go into detail, but the whole evening was one of the worst of my life. Her father was still in town, and she was still upstairs. I burst out laughing when she told me she had lunch with him that day. I went for a stroll before marching upstairs and telling her father. He was taken aback. My wife and I began bickering again, and this time it went late into the night. We've spoken and worked out specifics almost every night since then, which is why I'm fatigued. She had a business trip to Texas the next weekend. She asked whether she should cancel, and I asked if he was going to be there, and she said no. I told you to go ahead since it was for work, and I didn't want to disrupt your work. On that Thursday night, I instructed her not to speak to or see him unless it was absolutely for business purposes. I also begged her to promise me that she would not have any additional emotional or physical affairs with me until we were divorced. Anything else might absolutely ruin me. She contacted me often when I was in Texas, and I eventually inquired whether he was there. He was. I asked her whether anything had occurred when she returned on Sunday. No, she replied. The week was difficult once again, but we spoke and she stated she was in a bad place in our marriage and wasn't sure she wanted to attempt to mend it. She's not sure she'll ever be happy with me and us again. Remember, we've been struggling for a long time. We nearly split up in July, but promised to try again and put up more effort. So on Saturday, only 5 days ago, I stooped through her iPad and discovered further messages. Essentially, he professes to be in love with her or to be falling in love with her. He wants to be with her, close to her, and so on. They apparently met for coffee and spoke in Dallas. After I begged her to tell me what else occurred, she swore there was nothing more. She says she's trying to drive him away, but he's madly in love with her. We even went out to dinner to speak. I arranged for a babysitter and tried to unwind. To summarize, I don't know what to do or where to go. I love my wife, I care about her, I care about our family, and I am concerned about the impact on our children. I was willing to modify things about myself, our relationship, and so on. She's not sure whether we'll ever get there again, but I'm prepared to put in the effort. I scheduled a couples counseling appointment for next Tuesday. We're trying to become friends, work on communication, and have chosen to spend the holidays together. I considered messaging him to inform him, in a manner that would not jeopardize my legal standing, to stop contacting my wife and so on. I'm going to inform his wife, which he hasn't yet done. I'm just waiting because I know it's going to crush her and permanently damage their family, and I'm not sure I'm emotionally prepared for that right now. He's not doing anything right now. He wrecked my family, including my wife, and yet wants to stay with her, etc. He needs a wake-up call, which will be delivered. I don't believe my wife appreciates how much sorrow and suffering she's given me and my family right now. If we were to divorce, I believe she might reconsider if she came into an empty home or apartment with no husband and no children. I'm aware that I'm clinging to something that may be a losing cause, but I'm prepared to go to any length to attempt to rescue this. It won't work if she isn't on board or if I can't get over this. But when my children are older, I want them to know that their parents did everything to salvage their marriage. I can't fathom without seeing my children every day, embracing and kissing them. I suppose I'm taking things one step at a time. I'm hopeful that therapy can address some of my issues and provide me with clarity. Every day, I go back and forth, but in the end, I'm the kind of person who clutches for every last inch until there is nothing left. If it isn't, I'll know I gave it my all. Please let me know if you have any thoughts/opinions about messaging him, notifying his wife, or this connection. I'd appreciate it if you could keep the remarks nice. I'm already in a lot of pain. Thank you again.